Hi everybody, Professor Christina here. Today we're going to be talking about cross-channel attribution and why does it matter. So when you're doing a marketing campaign, sometimes it's focused on a single channel, like you might be running ads only on Instagram or only on TikTok, or your whole campaign is centered around email. Other times though, in fact most of the time, you're probably doing multiple different marketing channels. You might be sending out an email to your committed, loyal customers. You might be doing an Instagram ad campaign to attract new customers. You might even have a billboard by the side of the road to raise overall awareness of your brand. Now, that makes measuring the impact of the different parts of the campaign a little bit more complicated. That's when we need to get into cross-channel attribution. And there's two different aspects of cross-channel attribution to ensure that we're fully measuring to the best extent possible all of the different ways that the different parts of our campaigns contribute to the success of the whole. We have multi-touch attribution and we have multi-channel attribution. We also often refer to these as multi-touch measurement and multi-channel measurement. Now, what is the difference? Multi-touch measurement looks at the interactions that led to a conversion or another consumer action. They look at the interactions that a consumer had with your brand before they took the desired action, whether that was making a purchase, signing a petition, or simply becoming aware of your brand. Let's look at an example. Let's say you are a bakery and you have signs outside on buses. You have a QR code on those signs, as well as a special URL that people can type in so that people can come to your website and find out about all of your wonderful baked goods. You're sending out an email to your loyal customers who have already signed up for your loyalty points program. You're doing an Instagram ad that's targeting people who live within, let's say, 5 miles of your nearest bakery. And on top of all of that, you're running Google ads. So if somebody searches for a bakery near them, you are going to come up in those ads. You want to know how people are finding your bakery. Is it the ads on the sides of buses? Is it the Instagram ad? Is it the email bringing back loyal customers? Or is it those Google ads? Or what combination of all of those? If you look at it through the lens of multi-touch measurement, you're looking at each individual customer's journey that brought them into your bakery. Let's take an example. Let's say you have a customer, Sally. She's on your loyalty list, so she gets your emails, but she also saw your ads on the sides of buses, as well as seeing the Instagram ad that was geo-targeting her. But she did not look at your Google ads because she did not Google for bakeries near her because she's already loyal to your bakery. The touches that brought her back into your bakery are going to be the email, the ads on the sides of buses, and the Instagram ad. But let's take a look at her neighbor, Jim. Jim is also on your mailing list, but he does not ride the bus, and he's fairly oblivious when he walks around. He did not see the ads on the sides of buses. He does not have Instagram, so he only saw your emails. Now, you're probably thinking that means I don't need to use multi-touch measurement to understand what brought Jim into the bakery. He only used email. But that would be missing out on some of the rich analytics that you can get when you use multi-touch attribution for all of your customers. Because even though Jim did not look at any of the different marketing channels that you have out there in your campaign, he did look at multiple touches. They were just all on the same channel. He received 3 emails from you. First it was a coupon, then it was some Memorial Day picnic ideas, and then finally he received another coupon that finally encouraged him to come into the store. It took 3 touches to get Jim to come to your bakery. They were all on one channel, but it was still a multi-touch conversion. Most conversions, even if they involve a single channel, can be said to be multi-touch because it involves more than one interaction with the consumer. A multi-touch measurement simply means you look at all of the interactions that happened with the consumer and your brand within the context of your marketing that brought them to convert. It doesn't matter if they happened all on one channel or not. Then there's multi-channel measurement. Multi-channel measurement looks at the channels that played a role in the conversion or other desirable consumer action. In this case, we wouldn't be looking at Jim because Jim only came through on one channel. You would certainly look at Jim's journey as a single channel conversion, but Sally's conversion, which involved Instagram, out-of-home advertising in the form of the bus ads, and email, is going to be a multi-channel conversion. 3 channels: out-of-home, the bus ads, social media, the Instagram ads, and email, all played a role in Sally converting and coming back into your store. That is multi-channel measurement. Now, the cool thing about multi-channel measurement is that it can be on the individual level. For instance, you can look at all of the different channels that Sally had in her touch points that brought her to convert, or it can be on the aggregate level. You can look at all of the different channels that are in aggregate bringing all of your conversions to your organization. For instance, you can look at 25% of all of your customers are coming in through a customer journey that involves at least one email touch point. 70% of your customers are coming in through a customer journey that involves multiple touch points, at least one of which is Google Ads. So you can look at all the roles that different channels play in your conversions in aggregate as well. Now, this aggregate view of multi-channel conversion is actually much easier to measure. Google Analytics by default, for instance, shows you the different channels that played a role in the customer journey to conversion. So too do HubSpot Analytics and a lot of the other analytics tools out there. Measuring individual customer journeys across multiple touches is pretty straightforward if it all involves one channel. You can, for instance, see how many different emails Jim opened before he came into the store and made a purchase, provided you can track that purchase using his customer loyalty card. Multi-channel conversions can sometimes be a little bit more complicated to measure. If somebody saw an ad on the side of a bus, did not take any action, and then clicked on your Instagram ad, you may never know that they saw that ad on the side of a bus on the individual level. However, you can still use statistical modeling on the aggregate level to say, listen, whenever we run ads on the sides of buses, we end up with 10% higher sales, all other things being equal, than when we're doing every other type of marketing but not doing out-of-home advertising. So in the aggregate, you can always measure the impact of channels on your conversions, or at least approximate it. On the individual level, there's going to be, however, a little bit of imprecision. That's why it's important to engage in both multi-touch and multi-channel measurement. If you only look at multi-touch measurement and you only try to tie each and every individual consumer conversion back to every touch point on every channel, you're going to miss some of the touch points and some of the channels that are harder to measure. That includes anything analog like out of home. Multi-channel measurement will give you the fuller picture of how all of the channels that you're marketing on work together to create conversions, but it's going to be a little bit harder to tease out how the individual customer journeys worked on all of those different channels. Together, though, they're going to present you with a full picture of how different touch points and different channels are working within your campaign and within your marketing overall, to bring customers through your door and keep them coming back as happy, satisfied customers.